Do you think that you might be better at Fortnite than you realise? Today, I've got 20 clear signs that prove that you're actually good at the game. Keep score as we go, and if you get more than half, then you're above average. And if you hit all 20, then you might be ready for competitive, so let's see where you score. I'm going to count down from 20 to 1, and each of these signs is going to show real gameplay moments, so that you can judge yourself honestly. Number 20, you farm mats efficiently. Good players never panic build, because they never run out. You harvest on autopilot, rocks while rotating, wood when you're near the trees and in the forest, and metal in the main POIs with all those weird fences that are metal. You make sure that you're always farming. By mid game, you're maxed 500, 500, 500, and then that means when you build a lot and you edit a lot and you get into the later parts of the game, you are going to be the one that has the most materials out of all the other people, and that gives you the big advantage to go on to win the game. Number 19, you manage your inventory smartly, because this one's important because every slot has a job. You manage your bandages, you have to balance your damage, your guns, your heals and your mobility instead of hoarding like 3 shotguns. You swap attachments and rarities quickly. You make sure to drop ammo for your teammates. Don't be that guy who only drops 1 bullet and thinks you're hilarious. Also make sure that you have all the stuff that your teammates don't. For example, if they're not carrying that much heals, then you have to be the medic. Unfortunately, you can't just carry 5 shotguns. Also, you're never stuck with things that don't suit you, like double heals and no rotation. Smart loadouts win marginal fights, and good players live in the margins. We're now moving on to number 18. You use natural cover. You don't sprint across fields begging to be beamed. You hug the ridges, the trees and the buildings. Make sure that you slide and mantle all the time, otherwise you're going to get hit. When you cross open ground, you plan a path and you know all the angles for where the enemies could shoot you from. Because cover isn't just for defense. It lets you peek safely, tag and disengage without burning mats. Moving on to number 17, you can laser players rotating. Free damage is how you win and sometimes even survive the storm surge, like what the competitive pros do. When the zone pulls, you've got to be already positioned in the right spot to see everyone else rotating, so you know where they're going to come from. Then you fire and make sure that you hit all those shots because they're important. Do you focus on one player at a time instead of spraying at all 3? You break shields, force panic builds, and then push only if it's safe. Number 16. You rarely get eliminated off spawn. Hot drops don't scare you because you know what you're doing. You know the chest routes, the floor spawns, and how to get the materials fast. You make sure to get 100 shield before anyone else, and then you're ready for the peeking, the third party, and you know what to do. You disengage when, for example, if you're not doing that good in the situation. Surviving off spawn means that you can get more fights in the later half of the game. So good players want that for the whole match, not just the first 30 seconds. Number 15. You track the storm and plan ahead. You're never shocked by the circle because you rotate from the dead side and you make sure there's no players near you. You don't want to be in the place where all the guys are and they're all boxed up just shooting at each other and it's chaos. You have to watch that clock on the top right where the storm comes in and then make sure you move before you're forced to. If you're forced to, you have no control, and if you have no control, the other people are going to know that and they're going to spray you and you're going to die. Zone awareness isn't flashy, but it saves the materials, meds and your games. Number 14. You hit the shots consistently. Aim isn't luck, it's repeatability. You've got to be able to get your crosshair on that guy and accurately get that headshot and kill the people very fast. You peek when you're ready to commit, and your shotgun timing is patient and not spammy. Good aim ends the fights fast, and it keeps your materials high, which is important and correlates with some of the other tips, and it also makes enemies think twice about pushing you because you're the scariest guy in the game. Number 13. You can recover from low ground. Low ground is a very interesting point of the game because it's always going to happen. You're always going to lose height, but you shouldn't lose your composure. You protect your head and rebox and look for layer changes, side angles or mantles so that you can retake height. If you know your high ground retakes but they're just a little bit too risky, then you reset and heal. And if it's free, then you take the height with a simple ramp, cone wall, and then you're on height. Keep survival first. Don't think that just because you know all these high ground retakes, you should just start pulling them out and then wasting all of your mats all throughout the game, and then before you know it, you've got no mats and you're still. That's how bad players lose a lot of games. Number 12. You survive late game chaos. Moving zones are so stacked and punishing. If you know how to thrive there, that's a good sign. You know how to tarp, that's an important thing. Refresh your materials from eliminating players, and you don't tunnel vision on single players if they're out of reach but you've done a little bit of damage. You can't go for their bodies if it's like at the other side of the zone. You read the zone pulls, you pre-place your cones, and you keep a heal slot for clutch moments because you never know when it's going to go to a heal off. So I don't know, just make sure that you're aware of heal off situations. The other players crumble to pressure, but you're calm and most importantly alive. Number 11. You win most 1v1 box fights. In these small areas, you're the one that controls the pace. You're the one that edits all the windows, has all the builds. You do the right hand peek, the peanut butter edit, you know what I'm talking about, and make sure that you know, most importantly, that you're in his head. You condition your opponents with repeated edits, but then you change it one time, and that's when you get your finishing shot. You never chase a wall that you can't claim, because if you're caught with your pickaxe out, you already know that fight is ended with a 200 to the face. You have to go to a different side and catch them off guard. Number 10. You build without thinking. Your hands build before your brain even knows what's happening. Wall ramp floor, wall ramp floor, wall ramp blah, 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 is muscle memory, and then you're always doing it right. You can't be inconsistent in a game, because in one mistake and you're dead. So don't misplace pieces or block your own angles. Fundamentals are unconscious and your mind stays free for other things. For example, where the third party is, how much storm time you have, where the next rotate opens. Moving on to number 9, you know when to push and when to rotate. If you think that you can just double key every single player, and you're probably not Peterbot, so you probably can't double key every single player, so you gotta stay disciplined, because that's how you get the wins. You can only push people when you have tags, resources and timing. If a fight drags on or zone threatens you, then you have to disengage to fight the next one. You don't W key after cracking someone's shield if you know that the storm's gonna get you. Perhaps you hold an angle and you let them make the mistake. Smart choices save more games than flashy clips. Number 8. You consistently find and use the best loot. Your routes aren't random, they're optimized. You know where the best drop spots are. You hit the guaranteed chests, coolers, ammo boxes, and upgrade when it's good, and trade weapons based on rolls. You don't cling to a favourite gun if the meta shifts. You adapt and get the most value from whatever gun is best that season. Number 7. Don't panic under pressure. When your screen is shaking and audio is exploding, you breathe and you box up and you make a good decision. You heal before re-peeking, and then you reset the edits. You never swing right wide for like a shot of 50 HP. Cam players are the ones that win the coin flip fights, because they turn the fights into 60-40s because they don't panic. Number 6. You have great piece control. You don't just chase, you claim. You take the walls and you place cones in their box and cut off the escape routes. You edit to force their crosshair wherever you want it, and then you punish them. Even partial piece control, a simple cone or a floor, that can flip the momentum. Piece control makes the fights feel unfair, and that's the point. Number 5. You can clutch when your teammates go down. Duels and squads aren't over when you're the one last alive. You isolate the 1v1 positions and you pick the smart fights that make sure you're gonna win. You play the corners and you thirst for a quick refresh, and you never waste the enemy's mistakes. Clutching isn't hero mode, it's composure, timing and efficient trades to make sure that you're the one that survives. Number 4. You use height to your advantage. High ground is where you want to be. You want to be sitting up top looking for those controlled beams. You don't let anyone retake height on you, and you only drop down when it's to end the fight. You don't throw by over peeking. You starve your enemies of any angles until they're the ones that make the mistake and grief themselves. Number 3. You edit fast and accurately. Speed matters, but only if it's clean. You don't open giant windows that you can't cover. You make the right optimal edits, like a right hand peek or a peanut butter edit. That's my favourite edit there. And then you reset it as soon as you perhaps get a shot away. Your muscle memory includes the reset as well, so you don't just leave yourself exposed, or maybe them even jumping into your box. That should never happen. You have to be fast and precise with your edits, and make sure that you're offensive with them as well. Number 2. You win fights without relying on luck. You don't pray for headshots or mythic loot, because you're the one who creates the advantages with the information, the positioning, the tags and the resources. When you win, you can point to 5 decisions that you made that made it happen. Repeatability is the mark of a good player, not a highlight that you can't reproduce. Thank you for watching all this video. We're finally at the number 1 sign of you being a good player in Fortnite. You can land wherever you want every time. Pros start winning before their feet even touch the ground. You drop from the right angle, you glide perfectly just so that you land on the chest first, and you make sure that you're very fast at picking up the weapons so that you can get the chest ahead of the crowd. Clean drops means early shields, better routes and momentum. If you own your drop, the whole match plays from a position of strength. So, how many signs did you hit? If you checked 10 or more, then you're ahead of most players. If you checked 15, then... and if you nailed all 20 of these tips, then send me your clips. Drop a score in the comments. If this helped, hit a like, subscribe for more Fortnite breakdowns, and I'll catch you in the next match.